This is Lutin, and this is the introductory episode for my new Zeus PC build. This build is part sponsored by MSI, Coolermaster, Samsung and ebuyer, who have all contributed to making this system possible. What I want to achieve from this series is showcasing for you my new PC build as cleanly as possible, so I'll be presenting the component choices, the overall focus of the build, and showing off each element included. As ARMA becomes an ever more important focus for this channel, my original system needed less an upgrade and more a complete overhaul. So I decided that I'd embark on creating a whole new system with a focus on getting excellent performance for ARMA 3, ideally anything like over 60 FPS and stable, something which we know is no easy task, especially when many of the factors which affect ARMA FPS are not related to the system itself. Things like scripts, amount of AI, objects and quantity of players connected. This new system has been successful for me in providing optimal performance for ARMA, even in heavy combat situations on large scale missions. We will look at each element in the build and why it was selected for the system. Generally speaking, we know that speed is important always, but reliability and stability should be considered equally with any build. The core features that I required for the build were a CPU with high single thread performance, a motherboard with strong stability and a well-designed intuitive BIOS control, cooler to ensure CPU integrity and near-silent fans to enable good recording, fast SSD drives to deliver lossless graphical performance and minimize loading times, high performance and capacity RAM to facilitate a smooth gameplay experience, a solid GPU to deliver high-end rendering in ARMA, but also across a diverse range of game genres, and finally an IPS G-Sync monitor that will deliver 165Hz refresh rate and enable all of these components to show off the system to its fullest. When it comes to aesthetics, I'm not one to show great concern about the look or colour of a system, but it's always good to give it some consideration, and I'll generally opt for a dark and clean look to the build. ARMA 3 is a demanding game, not least because of its inherent engine limitations, but also because of its single-threaded operation. This means choosing the best performing single-thread CPU is critical for the build. For that reason, I decided to choose the i7-6700K Skylake processor. This delivers excellent single-thread performance. However, it should be noted that coming up in 2017 will be the new KB Lake processor, which appears will definitely be a significant improvement on the Skylake. However, as I'm building this system now, waiting for that new CPU was not an option. A powerful GPU is also important for ARMA. While the game is far more demanding of the CPU than the GPU, it still requires a strong GPU able to handle the game running in Ultra, as this can actually offset some of that CPU dependency. A common misconception when it comes to discussing ARMA is that the GPU is not critical. It's just not as important as the CPU. However, I also required a GPU which would be able to handle the many other games that I play for me to be able to best evaluate them and deliver quality video content. The MSI 1070X8G was provided by MSI, a powerful card, excellent reviews across the board and 40% faster than my previous 780 Ti. Strong build quality and cooling was key to this, and the 1070 is also a very quiet card, which is again an important feature specifically for me as a producer when recording and live streaming. This build will include a Z170A Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard, again supplied by MSI. This board has a wide variety of features, both technically and when it comes to protecting the system. It has a strong build quality in its military class 5 components and features an intuitive click BIOS, which is easy to navigate and displays all relevant information clearly and concisely. We'll be using the HyperX Fury Black 32GB, that's a 4x8GB kit provided by ebuyer for the system. HyperX are a reliable brand when it comes to memory, and if you care about aesthetics, they have a dark, sleek look which fits well in the system. The two drives I'm installing in the system are both Samsung, an 850 Pro and an 850 Evo, both 500GB SSDs. I'll be then also including two 2TB Western Digital black drives, which I already had and used to store my non-core system games and recording files. To house the system as well as cool the CPU, we'll be using the Coolermaster Mastercase Pro 5 and Master Liquid 240 systems, both provided by Coolermaster, and I'm powering the system with an 850 watt power supply. The Coolermaster case enables flexible modular building, and as in my requirements, the 240 cooling system runs near silent. Lastly, I'm going to be using an Acer Predator XB27 1HU 27-inch G-Sync IPS monitor supplied by ebuyer. I spent probably the most amount of time deliberating about the monitor because all the other components are chosen mainly on performance, but a monitor can come down to a more specific personal preference. You want to keep in mind the warmth and tone of the colours, and there is a strong difference between what an IPS versus a TN panel will deliver. The core features required though are of course a high refresh rate and resolution. I'll be giving a showcase of the system components in individual upcoming videos. If you're looking to include any of these for upgrading or all of them for building your own system, I would definitely advise checking out other tech videos on YouTube which go into more specific details and comparisons. I've included a PC part picker list should you wish to create my specific build down in the notes below, as well as individual links to each of the sponsors where you can check out many of their different components available. The next video will be looking at the first component, which is the CPU, the Intel Core i7-6700K.